Hello, welcome to YCFT. We're in summer/season.
Yeah.
Everyone's off to their summer camps for their inevitable killings, for
For
doing
their
drugs
demise.
or having sex.
Tis the season to be
Tis
slashed.
the season to be slashy.
Yeah.
Except in Sleepaway Camp. Because if you do drugs... Well, this isn't a film where you die for the typical horror tropes. This is a film where you die if you're a bully.
If you're a bad person...
If you're a bad person...
You get your comeuppance.
You get your comeuppance.
Yeah.
When did this film come out? Was it 1983?
It was 83.
83.
Yep. So it's like in full... Sort of full slasher swing. We've had a few Friday the 13th movies at this stage.
Yeah. This is definitely a film that only exists because of Friday the 13th.
100%.
But it did very well. It had a budget of about 350,000, made 11 million.
It actually did, yeah.
Has a massive cult following.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the name of the director?
A guy called Robert Hiltzik.
Robert Hiltzik.
Yes.
Now this film, it is set at a real summer camp. Obviously, for the film renamed Camp Arrowwhack.
Arrowwhack.
Someone
yes.
gets whacked with an arrow at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The director picked this because he actually went to the camp as a child.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And they had to film it in the off season. Usually that's how these
winter.
work.
Yeah.
The camps are closed and it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's an actual business.
Extra money. So they painted a lot of leaves on trees green to try and hide the fact that it was winter.
Yeah.
But then when you look at like the wide shots, the establishing shots, like, well, they're clearly brown.
Yeah, you can tell.
So it must be like more
chilly.
autumny, not winter, but autumn time.
Yeah, I mean Friday the 13th did like pretty much the same, didn't they? They always filmed around January time, and yeah, because they were working camps, and you can't disrupt a business like that, so you have to film it off season.
Yeah.
But yes, Camp Arrowwhack.
Camp Arrowwhack
is the setting for this film.
Basic plot of this film.
Mm-hmm.
We open with, we open across the lake where Peter and Angela are on a little sailing boat with their father.
Yes.
And through some tragedy, the father and Angela end up dying.
Yes.
Hit with another
speedboat accident. Yeah.
And it cuts to many years later. Angela's now being raised by her aunt
Martha.
Aunt Martha. Who's she played by?
Oh, I think the actress is called Desiree Gould
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's one of the strangest performances ever. So she's been raised as Angela's being raised as her daughter.
Yes, along with her cousin Ricky.
And they're being sent off to camp. At the very beginning of the movie, we see Angela saying that she wants to go. She would love to go to the camp someday. Now we get
now she's getting a wish.
At the camp, she's bullied for being a bit different. She's a bit quiet. She's a bit nervous.
Yeah, so this is...
Killings start happening.
Killings start happening, as they do. But yeah, Angela, when we first meet the grown-up Angela, she's 13, or, meant to be about 13. She's clearly very traumatised as to what happened when she was younger. Seeing her dad die, seeing her brother die in this horrific speedboat accident, and now she's going to be spending a few weeks at the same location where they were killed. So yeah, Angela, she doesn't really speak. She doesn't really make any effort to make any friends. She's kind of an outsider, which instantly makes her a target for bullies.
Because, interestingly, in this film, a lot of the kids are actually played by kids.
Yes. Which is, it sounds silly to say, but it's actually, it's a fair point.
Yeah, Felissa Rose, who plays Angela, was 13.
She was, yeah. She was age-appropriate for this film.
Her cousin, he was 17.
Yeah, he was 17, but he looks younger.
It's weird, you have the kids that are clearly kids, and then you have the next year up, who are clearly in their 20s. It's quite hard to tell the older kids from the counsellors.
Yes, that's very true.
Some really interesting outfits in this by the male counsellors as well.
Oh, this is so 80s. Did we mention it was made in 1983? This film,
the
a lot of tight shorts, a lot of long knee-high socks. Oh god, and the hairstyles. Yeah, this film is 80s fodder.
The score is it's so dramatic in places where it doesn't need to be dramatic.
No, but it's all part of its charm.
It's all part of its charm.
It's we mentioned Aunt Martha before. We don't really get a lot of Aunt Martha, but immediately it's what the fuck is going on in this? There's no reason for this very bizarre performance that we get from her. We have a lot of other interesting characters in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the staff at the camp.
Yeah, because the first staff we meet are the cooks. One of which, I think it's the assistant, or sous chef, is
Robert Earl Jones.
Yes, Darth Vader's daddy.
Yeah. Who's
He has
just
a very
chilling
similar
at
voice.
Camp Arawak.
But then we have Artie, the head chef, who is clearly, and again, I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube, he's a pedophile.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, the first line we see is like, oh, why can't we call them baldies? And it's so...
It's horrible.
It's like the way what sets it apart from other slashers.
It's horrible.
Everybody who dies in this film dies because they're bad people.
They deserve it.
They deserve it.
They
don't
really
technically see him die.
No, we don't.
But
actually.
if he does, he doesn't live. If he does live, he doesn't live well.
It's a terrible fate, really.
Yeah. Edward French.
Edward French is the special effects guy, the makeup guy.
Yeah, and like him, for example, he gets boiling hot water poured on him. Because it's kind of like it's filmed out for a long time. We know Angela is the killer.
Spoiler territory. Yeah.
But Ricky they're trying to do a whodunit with Ricky, her cousin, and whenever you see a hand come in shot, it was his hand.
It was the actor playing Ricky. Yeah, they used his
Ricky
hands.
We never thought it was you.
I wonder if anyone really did at the time.
Maybe.
People going to see it.
Maybe we've just watched a lot of them.
Maybe
Films. So you get the biggest pot I've ever seen in my life.
Boiling hot, scalding water.
And the effect, like the screaming and you can see it like pulse. I think you said he used like jelly underneath it.
Gelatin, to give that bubbling, the skin bubbling effect.
He pumped air into it.
It looks like agony.
Yeah.
But it's
they say it's like, oh, he's now as ugly on the outside as he is on the inside.
On the inside. It's so deserved.
Absolutely, it's so deserved.
But yeah, there's the very crazy cartoonish cast of characters that we get in this film. We have the horrible chef. We have Aunt Martha, who we're introduced to at the beginning. We have Mel, who is the camp's owner. And he's like this 60-year-old cigar chomping guy who's like
looks like he should be directing softcore porn.
He sounds like he's from the Bronx. He doesn't look like he has any business working in a summer camp at all. But you know, he's there. Very strange line delivery from that actor as well. And then we also have, going back to the bullies, we have Judy, who is she's not a counsellor. She's just at the camp like Angela.
Yeah. In case you forget who she is, she wears a t-shirt with her name on it.
She does. She's that kind of gal. You never forget Judy. We've all known and met a Judy in our lives. She's just the ultimate bitch. She loves herself, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she is,
absolutely loves herself.
She instantly takes a disliking to Angela because, again, Angela's a little bit different. She's quiet. She's not integrating with the other kids. They don't get it. But also Angela is very pretty. And Judy resents that. So, yeah. Angela is picked on very much by a lot of the girls in this film. Yeah. And Judy is like, her kind of nemesis.
Yeah, a lot of the guys are quite attracted to her, but they also
they don't get it.
Strangely annoyed and aggressive when she
rejects them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, this kind of leads to your death.
Yeah, again, like we were saying, all the kills practically in this film are justified. Everyone who dies in this film has at some point slighted Angela or has wronged Angela, offended her in some way. Yeah.
The only kills, there's even one, there's a few little kids who, we don't see the kill, but we see the result of them hacked to pieces in some sleeping bags.
Yeah.
They're they laugh at her.
They laugh.
Even the director said he kind of regrets that one. It doesn't fit within the movie.
Yeah, it is a bit out of place. It's also just a bit lame, I think, in comparison to some of the other kills.
Yeah, because I think isn't that following on from the most famous kill in this?
Yeah.
Judy's kill.
Judy's kill is good.
Hair. It's a hair curler, isn't it?
It's like
tongs. We don't even see this one. We see the weapon.
Off screen.
It's off screen. We see the weapon and we see shadows on the wall,
silhouette,
and the scream, and
yes,
it gets shoved somewhere.
Those tongs get inserted somewhere into Judy. That's best left to the imagination.
What's the line that Judy says to her the last time we saw her?
She's a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and needs a screw.
Judy, she's a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and needs a screw. That's enough. Fuck off.
I will never get tired of saying that line. It's so good. And the line delivery again from the actress that plays Judy, she hams it right up.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the worst bully you've ever known, and then like times that by 100.
I love, there's a great line by
so...
Ricky, because Ricky he got the part because of his ability to like spew lines.
Yeah, just like spew aggression.
Because someone
and,
shouts like eat shit and die, Ricky, and he's like, eat shit and live.
Eat shit and
Eat
live,
shit
Bill.
And live, Bill.
This guy blows dead dogs. Just lay it in there.
Eat shit and die, Ricky.
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Yeah, Bill, he's a little wet.
It's so good. It's great insult as well.
Yeah, you get like these weird little lines like this, like peppered throughout the film, and everything's just so over the top. Everything, like the performances, the music, the lines, the line delivery. It's just what is going on?
It could be debated, like, is this a good film or not?
It's so good. It's
enjoyable.
It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah.
I think it falls into that category of
the
of
kills.
film.
I think are a big part of what make this fall into a good film.
I mean, again, you know, the boiling water. It's kind of left for debate as to whether the chef dies or not. But either way, you know, he's kind of dealt with now. We get a beehive into the toilet.
Yeah.
A man who's in a cubicle, he's locked in and is stung to death by bees.
I feel like Nick Cage saw that and thought, yeah.
Yes, it's a cool kill as well.
It's cool. We have a drowning.
We have a drowning.
Like a snake coming out the mouth afterwards, like from. Oh, it's so good.
It's gnarly. We get the tongs and the.
Yeah, we get a Psycho homage. It's a knife through the fin out. Like the director said they could never, beat the shower kill from Psycho, but he said when the walls were always really thin, he thought it'd be really cool if you could stab through it, and that is it, stab through the wall into the back.
Jagged, like cut, like almost. It reminds me of Jack the Ripper a little bit. Just like slice and dice through
an arrow
the neck.
through the throat.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good because they wanted to see it go in.
Yeah, the director was like, I don't want to cut away. I actually want to see that arrow penetrate the neck. So it was. I can't remember exactly how they did it, but it sounds almost deceptively simple.
Yeah.
How they did it.
Well, they had the back of the arrow was already on the neck on a bit of string, and they pulled it up.
And they just pulled it
So
up.
I think then they just like pushed the arrow.
That's
in.
It's so good, and it looks really good as well. Yeah. So basically, all the kills are justified in this film, and as we've said, Angela is the killer. We love this movie a lot. In a lot of ways, it's never as famous as Friday the 13th. It's never, like on, people's like top 10 horrors or whatever. It's never really talked about by critics or academics that much, but people always talk about the ending of this film.
I mean, this one's been out for such a long time now. We are going to spoil everything. It's like, Angela is the killer, and it's a final kit. We see her naked, covered in blood. Angela has a penis.
Angela is not Angela.
Angela is Peter.
How can it be? God, she's a boy.
Remember Peter at the beginning? Her brother Peter, who we
Angela
assumed...
died.
It was Angela that died in the speedboat accident.
And this shows how like messed up their aunt is. We see a scene of her saying like, "We've already got a boy. We don't need another one. That just won't do.
That simply won't do."
Because she can never have a girl. She raises Peter as a boy, as a girl, as Angela. So, my angel.
Aunt Martha has always wanted a little girl. So when little Peter is just carted off to live with his aunt, no, she decides that little Peter is going to be raised as little Angela, and she can have the daughter she's always wanted. So for like the last however many years, poor Peter has been raised as a girl, has been forced to live as a girl.
Yeah. So, and the scene, they had to do...
Oh.
Obviously, it was an 18-year-old man's boy's body.
He was...
They shaved it, They did a cast of Felissa Rose's face. Felissa Rose is so fond of this film.
I love Felissa Rose.
We saw her speak at For the Love of Horror.
We did.
It just comes across as anyone's met her, she's absolutely lovely.
She is. She's brilliant. She's great with fans.
She says a direct quote is, "This film gave me my life."
She said that.
Yeah.
She
so they did a cast of her face doing this. And put it on. It's one of the few scenes that makes me really uncomfortable.
It's just
So like,
there's almost just something nightmarish about it. It looks wrong. I mean, people have spoken about how it's, very uncanny valley. It's human, but not human at the same time.
The prostate, it looks good.
But the glass eyes as well, it just kind of gives it this really kind of weird quality. Oh, and
hiss
like,
at the
it's
end.
like animalistic noise that she
Yeah.
has. She's just standing there, stark naked, dick is out. And this, this actor, the body double, is wearing this 13-year-old girl's face just like, plastered onto him. It looks weird. And
Yeah.
it's haunting as hell.
And it's like it holds on her face as the credits go up as well. It's
For
like,
an uncomfortably long time.
Yeah.
And
and that's like, so yeah.
all this in
looking
the
at
last
through-
30 seconds as well.
Yeah, and if you looking at it through a modern lens, for most of the trans community love this film. There's a few, obviously there's a few out there that claim it's offensive, and
I think it's a few. It's like a marginalised few.
but for most of the trans community, see the film for what it is and actually really enjoy it and think it's good representation. There's also the other side of it is, technically, she's not trans. Angela's not trans.
She's not. She's not a trans woman.
This identity
was forced on her. She didn't choose to live this life.
She didn't choose
to
become a girl. Like that was. And when you then start to break down character, the trauma of seeing a father and a brother die, across from a place where you've always wanted to go, you have your identity stripped away and the identity of your dead sister forced upon you. Then you finally get to go to this camp that you've always wanted to go to, and you're bullied for being relentlessly for being different, and you can see why
she snapped. She just totally snapped. And I think when you look at the ending, physically it's kind of it's horrifying, but any kind of semblance that Angela / Peter has at that moment, gone. It's erratic. She has snapped. Like, there is nothing left of Angela or Peter.
Like, even if you don't, many parts of this film are quite forgettable.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
The one thing you will absolutely never forget and will stay with you forever is that ending. And I've only watched it twice. The second time being for this video, and you said I was a bit disturbed by that last shot.
Yeah, I remember when we watched it together for the first time, and you were just like, "That is fucking horrible. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to look at this anymore."
So no, in the sequels, I really want to get the first one on Blu-ray, but I'm having trouble tracking it down. So I've got 2 and 3. He sold the rights, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had a few ideas for a sequel, but he wasn't in. I think the director went and he had a family instead.
I think so. Yeah, I
don't think he's very fond on the direction they took it in.
No.
I've seen the second one. I really like. The third one is still in its cellophane.
Yes.
No, they do go on a more traditional trans route of.
Yeah,
it's a couple of years later.
Yes.
Angela's been through therapy for what she's done.
Yes.
And she has fully accepted the Angela persona and has had corrective surgery. So she is more traditionally a trans woman in the sequels.
In the sequels, but I think the first film, in my eyes, more than anything, it's an exploration of trauma.
Yeah.
It's a revenge film.
Yeah, it's a film about bullies.
It is a film about bullies. This poor boy that has been raised as a girl snaps, and she kills the people that in her immediate vicinity are hurting her, psychologically or physically, whatever it is. She just snaps. It is a revenge film, and Felissa Rose agrees with that, I think, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She said it's a film about bullies.
Yeah.
And it is a film about getting revenge.
Because it does explore sexuality in a lot of ways as well, because it is revealed that her father was gay and had a male lover.
Yeah, there's a flashback scene where Peter and Angela as children witness their dad in bed with a man, and they're kind of giggling, clearly too young to really understand what's going on here, but they've seen that as children nevertheless.
Yeah.
And this film in many ways, it is like it's a throwaway movie, but it deals with a lot of interesting subject matter. It deals with homosexuality, it deals with body dysmorphia and gender identity. It deals with bullying and harassment. Like, there's a lot of paedophilia. There's a lot of things going on in this very little short, low budget little film.
Yeah.
I think, as I say, it's never been as famous as Friday the 13th or as any of the slashers, any of the other franchises, but it has its own little identity. It's a very unique little film. I really love it.
It is. I really enjoy it. It's not one I watch often, but when I do watch it, even if it is cheesy in parts and some bits for me don't quite work, I have a lot of fun watching it.
It is a great. I really love this movie. I mean, there's a little bit of humor in it as well.
Yeah. Everyone seems to have had a really good time working on it, apart from the guy who body doubled.
Apart from that poor guy, like no one
Who's
ever
never
knows.
been seen.
No, he just disappeared into obscurity. Like, yeah, because they had to get him drunk, didn't they, to do the scene? Because
Yeah.
he was on the set, like in a robe, about to strip off, and I guess when it was only when he was on the set he was like, "This is a bad idea. I shouldn't be doing this." So they literally had to get him drunk. And, bearing in mind, it would have been freezing cold as well.
Yeah.
That he has to strip bollock naked and then wear the cast of a 13-year-old girl's face on top of his face and just stand there. It would have been a great day.
Because it wasn't until the 90s when the crew, well, the cast and crew realised that the film was still being watched and it was still...
It was a hit.
Popular.
It was a cult film.
So I think if he ever did come out and they did a reunion again, I think people would love to talk to him about it.
I think so too. I'd like to think that he's softened to it at this point, but there's probably something to be said that he's never revealed himself.
What if that person ended up becoming like quite famous?
Imagine that was his beginning in film. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't know what he's went on to work on, if he even stayed in the industry.
No. But I also love how, because it feels a lot of the cast and crew, they didn't stay in the industry.
Yeah, isn't there a scene? I'm sure there's a scene where you can see him stripping in the background, or you can see like him.
Oh, I think you actually can.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah, you can briefly see him taking his clothes off. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that doubles.
Yeah. Because it's a scene with like real Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just in the background because he's behind some canoes.
Yeah, clearly not meant to be in the film.
Yeah. Obviously didn't see it when they were doing it.
No, but yeah, I mean,
so he's in two shots.
Yeah, technically, yeah. But yeah, I mean, this film, I think it surprised a lot of the cast and crew when they realised, through the internet, just how beloved it actually was. Because, a lot of them didn't stay in the industry. Felissa Rose is one of the few that carried on acting.
Because they did ask her to do the sequel, but she didn't gel with it, and she decided she was already planning to go to college. So she stepped out of the industry for a bit before. She is a scream queen.
She is. I do. Sorry, just going back to the revelation scene, the reveal scene. Obviously, Felissa Rose, 13-year-old girl. And at the beginning, when they were thinking of how they were going to do that final shot, they did consider having Felissa Rose just stand there, wearing a strap on. And Felissa Rose's mum, who was like very present on the set because of the subject matter of the film, very firmly said, no. My daughter is not standing there in the freezing cold, naked, wearing a fake penis. Shut that one down.
I feel like Felissa Rose would have been up for it.
I feel like she's just brilliant, isn't she?
Oh, she's lovely.
She's just like, so many actors who have their beginnings in horror, like they shy away from it. They don't want to be remembered for it. She fully embraced it.
Yeah, and it has a really nice career.
Yeah, she's worked on like over 100 credits in horror, I think.
Like, she's just so good with the fans. Next time we have to go see her next time. I
would love to meet her. But she had a wonderful time working on the movie. I think everyone did. Everyone has very fond memories of it, and I love this movie. It's not the best film.
No, but it's so enjoyable.
It is, and as I say, it's a slasher at its core. It's basically just a slasher film, but I don't know. It does a few things different.
Yeah,
and it introduces a few new themes.
It stands out from a very, very busy time. I mean,
also, briefly going back to the whole, the trans theme of the film. It's like a lot of people, well, some people, I guess, do find it a little bit offensive, but then you have the other side of it where this is a film that was made in the very early 80s, and homosexuality and trans issues, like, there was no representation in movies at that time. So I think credit where credit is due, rightly or wrongly, it did actually introduce that, into a mainstream film.
Yeah.
It actually, wasn't nervous about doing it. It brought it to people's attention. It got people talking about it. So I think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. It dared to be different.
It dared to be different, yeah.
It did well enough.
It did very well. It got sequels.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think also the fact that the cast and the crew still think very fondly of this movie that's enough for me to just I love this movie a lot, if you can't tell.
Yeah. And it is on. We initially watched it on Shudder.
Yeah, we did.
So Shudder, sponsor us,
please.
But I think at the minute it is just up on YouTube. I think
It
that's
is.
where we watched
the
it last
entire
night.
film is just on YouTube.
If anyone has a link to the Blu-ray in the UK for the first film, please send it to me because
yeah,
it bothers me that I've got 2 and 3 and I don't have the first one.
and I love the cover art on the
The
Blu-ray.
cover art is really good.
The like the hand-drawn, like painted style. I love that. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is it for Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
I think.
Give it a watch.
Bizarre little movie.
It's
Bizarre little performances.
but at the same time it's a landmark
It is.
in horror
Look,
and in slashers.
You'll have fun with it.
You will.
And you will never
absolutely
forget that ending.
There's certain things in this film you'll never forget.
No. That the last 30 seconds will haunt you. I guarantee it.
Just remember, eat shit and live.
Eat shit and
Eat
live.
shit and live. All right, thanks for stopping by, guys. If you're new, maybe consider subscribing.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
And also tell us, like, hit us up in the comments, like, what's a scene that you've seen in a horror that scared you that you can't get out of your mind.
Like, what's a scary scene in what is otherwise not a scary movie?
Yeah. What is the scene that haunts your dreams forevermore? We want to know.
We want to know. So yeah, thanks very much, and we will see you next week.